times, the 3 times they played them, and they were the team that topped the ladder. So I'm actually going to say Silent Snipers here.
Okay. I'll have to go with I'm going to go on the opposite side here. I'm going to go with GH Rest, but we do see Lucas already underway. A little bit of a hiccup here. Let's hope that that's not a disconnect or anything going wrong with the Wi-Fi. I always panic when I see that spinning pinwheel. But we've got the blimp to sail through. Loons keeping cover so we can get through into that Town Hall compartment. So my best guess here, Sneaky Goblins to come through and take down that Town Hall.
Yeah, nice comfortable start. I always worry watching the Sneaky Goblins because they take so long to come out of the clan castle, and then all of a sudden you see the Town Hall go down. But you are absolutely right, and they even set off all of the traps afterwards in that area, so very nicely done. And now it's just about controlling the Queen, and with it being a symmetrical base, I'm sure he's got a plan here to just send her right into the center. You see the 2 super wall breakers, but she's actually taking quite a bit of damage down the bottom. Needs to freeze the Expo, Lady B.
Yeah, freezes up that Expo, holds that off, gets her the healers reached up so she can survive, but keeps her from using that ability. That ability is critical as we make our way into the core, because that's where we have the heavier hitting damage to come through. I actually do like that blimp not only took down the Town Hall, but got the value of pulling the clan castle to the outskirts, because as we saw that struggle here, she doesn't have as many defenses on her. It would have been a much more difficult go inside the base.
Yeah, interesting placement of the rage spell there. Let's be honest about that. I'm not sure whether that was intended or not, but he is going to keep his Queen raged through this area, manages to get a battle blimp through to test for the balloons, and has to use another rage. There's huge investments into the Queen charge here, but if she can get into the center of the base, particularly that multi-target Inferno, it starts to look a lot better, but the Lalo must be coming in soon.
I would think it has to be. I mean, we are seeing some more longer pushing Queen charges coming in, but you don't want to risk it with this too much, with so much of the base left over, that this needs to do a lot of work. The Queen is in a good position. We've got that early Warden ability to help keep the Headhunters safely through, gets that in their tome, and keeps the Loon safely through the damage coming in from that scatter shot initially, but we do have a freeze left over. We might want to consider using it for this multi as the Loons thin out, though the Queen picks it up quickly. Only problem is we don't have a lot of Loons left over to work their way in for the back end.
Yeah, that early warning ability was enough to get them through this area, but he's still got an invisibility spell here, and with the Royal Champion moving through, actually turns her invisible alongside the balloons. Look at all of the minions moving across as well. A little bit scary for a moment there as the balloons were going down, but it is going to be the 3-star starting off here for Silent Snipers, and this is kind of deja vu of what we are seeing today. Opening 3 stars, every single team giving it what they have, and the perfect start for Silent Snipers.
That was a beautiful start. That Royal Champ was like sneaking under those Loons. She was kind of undercover there. I was like, what else is going to help this? Where's the Royal Champ? And right there she was. So that was a perfect way to finish off the job here. And as we see on the screen, we've got the Royal Champ with the invisibility spell that helps through, and just a reformation of some of the remaining Loons to help pick off those defenses.
Yeah, and I love using the invisibility spell with the Royal Champion. It's kind of just became the meta and what you need to do towards the back end of the base. But the invisibility spell is such a hard spell to use, because if you misplace it, then it can have devastating impacts. But it's just so easy with the Royal Champion.
Yeah,
it works perfectly.
It's like a back pocket item. And I see Imtrotino has 2 of them, but we get the Zapquake down to start off this Lalo. So those 2 invisibility spells, I'm curious to see if they are going to be used for the Royal Champion, or if he has some plans maybe for his Queen to help her work along. We've got the initial wall break setting in place. A Sneaky Goblin testing the playing fields. Hold up. We're going for another Sneaky Goblin Town Hall takedown, and that's exactly what we're going to see at least one of these invisibility spells for. Oof.
Yeah, I thought he was going to use a haste spell for the Sneaky Goblins, but the placement of the invisibility, I'm always worried that I put it 1 tile too far and turn the Town Hall invisible, but he had it under control, gets that down, and I guess it means the haste is much more usable for the Lava Loon. And you can see the Stone Slammer has already been used down to the bottom, so nothing to kind of reinforce this Lava Loon. Just going to be taking out the Clan Castle troops, getting value with the hero dive, and hoping to thin out most of the base.
He's really shaped it up nicely so far. We can see a lot connecting, and Trying to see if that's an air or ground bow in the center of the base, so there is a little bit more value for us to pick up. But right now, we've got the king, the queen, and the royal champ to really pick off a little bit more. I don't think there's going to be much more left of this base once he's done with these heroes. We've got the double layer wall break to get into that multi-compartment, pick that off, and the royal champ to take on one of the two scatter shots.
Yeah, beautiful approach here, and I always like to see this, just the heroes used in unison, one beside the other as they move into the base, the king and the queen and the royal champion. But the king's gone down quite quickly in that area. Queen taking major damage. He definitely wanted the multi-target Inferno, but I don't think she's going to get it.
Oh, this queen is being absolutely stubborn, breaks through the wrong wall, and really does in Tritino to try and work this one along. Now, we do see a widespread of the loons, not going for like the more normal kind of straight in push, and this means he's going to worry about a multi on the back end that is going to shred apart his loons.
I think he's just forgetting about it. I think he knows now that the queen didn't go where he wanted. He didn't get that area, so it's all about just trying to recover percentage. Silent Snipers might have got the 3 stars, but let's remember we are on the first attack here. On voice, his teammates have probably said, get the percentage, we've got you. Just make sure to spread those balloons and make sure that the minions can clean up. And if you ever find yourself in this situation, it's definitely the thing to do, is to keep the lava balloon spread so that you do take out the defenses on the perimeter, and the percentage can be as high as you can get it.
And looking to just drop a little bit more, but I am not seeing this turning into an 80%, and that's going to leave them quite a bit low. That's where we see a little bit difficult of a turnaround, unless they were to have some big, strong defenses coming in, and they did face off against Aphelion and held them back 11 stars, so that could be a possibility.
Yeah, we haven't seen a defense quite this low pretty much all today, though, so it's definitely a big hit early on, let's say. Silent Snipers will be rubbing their hands at this stage. A 3-star and then a huge defense. But like I said, we're only one match into, or one battle into this match, so there's still a huge amount that can change. And we have Wolf moving in with these Super Witches, another strategy we don't tend to see very much at the moment, Lady B.
No, I always say this is one that you see most people coming in at the end of the war, where they really need to come in with a strong high percent towards the back end of the base, because we don't often see it failing these days in general, unless it's a matter of time. And going in with a ring style base, I have seen this come through for some raids, but we have to have a backup plan for getting on this town hall. And I notice a blimp that can easily sail its way through. Maybe I shouldn't say easily, because it's got to get some cover under there to get it in while the witches circulate around the rings.
I always love to see how they pick apart these ring bases. They are very tricky, but just using the king on one layer, then you see the super wizards on the next layer, and just being able to kind of rotate your troops around the base so controlled is beautiful to watch. But I am a little bit worried as to how he's going to get the town hall here. Only one super wall breaker, that would have to be correct. Like you said, there's the battle blimp, but there's a huge amount of defenses in the center of the base. I'm just a little bit worried as to how much damage that will take.
Yeah, with the queen working her way around, she's in a good spot, already picking off a scatter shot on her way to get the next one. We've got more loons coming in to help cover the healers, but look at this. It's also going to help for the blimp, and the warden has his ability, so he's going to use this. Coming in to keep it strong past the scatter shot. Makes its way in despite the traps.
Oh, the skellies. I'm sure he's got sneaky goblins. He's all good. But like I said, it's just that they are so delayed. You can see the town hall going down. Safe there now, but a little bit risky. He still had the royal champion in order to send into the middle. But like you said, Battle Blimp nicely targeted into that central area. Super Witch is still alive, but there's a huge chunk of base left and only a minute to take it down.
Time is really going to be the bigger issue for Wolfshears here, and that's what I said before, is when we see these type of attacks, more times than not, if it's not user error, that would be the only issue, not getting your funnel set up right. You're going to be battling the clock to try and pick up that 3-star. Royal Champ tries to set her way in, take on that ground bow, but it is going to continuously beat on that queen, on the witches, and 29 seconds is not enough time to get through the remainder of the space.
Yeah, he just can't get in towards that single target Inferno. And I think you raised an interesting point there, because I don't think there was anything wrong with this attack. I don't think there was any mistakes whatsoever. The plan just wasn't quick enough to get through the base ultimately. Very, very close as we close in towards the 90%. But it's unfortunately not enough for the Silent Snipers to keep their 3-star streak alive. And it does mean that GH Rest have a little bit of an opportunity here to tie up the stars. But the percentage on this attack is much greater than the 77 that we just seen prior.
And sometimes that's about all you can do, is try and keep that percent going. And that's why I see that as a last resort hit in a lot of attacks. If you're coming down to the wire worrying about the percent, more often than not, when we see this Super Witch attack, I see it in the 5th attack where percent matters. So I think it's a smart plan of action, knowing that if you're going up against a team that, you know you can hold some defense against, you can maybe just stick it to them a little bit. But let's see what we've got Bombador having readying up his sleeve. And if he can try and pick up a 3-star and tie up the star count here.
I normally instantly look at how many invisibility spells a player is taking now. Only 2 of them on this one, so looks like it's not really going to be the traditional Blizzard. Just the Yetis moving in. Doesn't rage here, and the Yetis will attack the Queen, but won't take her down. If he'd have raged, would he got the Queen? Is he bothered about it? Oh, his Queen is taking big damage, though. Oof. Just managed to rescue it.
A nice drop of that rage quickly to keep that Queen alive and work her way to take on that Hound. Again, we see these pulls of the clan castles from a lot of the blimps. It serves as double duty, taking out a compartment and giving the Queen some opportunity to take down the clan castle troops in a corner, in a spot where she's unobstructed by too much oncoming defense. Because if you get into the core, you have those scatter shots, you've got multis, you've got warden towers that can really pick her apart. We've got the wall break open. Are we seeing another sneaky goblin town hall takedown? It looks like that's exactly what we have coming in here. So we know exactly what we're going to see at least one of these invisibility spells for. But this is tricky. Like, look, he's doing this queen charge and the sneaky goblins at the same time. Talk about multitasking.
Very, very nice play. And I've got to be honest with you, I love the fact that they are using these sneaky goblins in this manner, because we don't really see that very often. And when a team kind of takes charge of a particular type of strategy and really owns it and perfects it, sometimes they can take advantage of enemy bases that just aren't built for that. Look at the heroes charging into the base though, Lady B. Like you said, he has really controlled the attack well here, and he's going to get massive amounts of value with the King getting the Eagle, Royal Champion still alive with the ability, Queen with the ability. The base is going down very nicely.
That early invisibility spell for the Royal Champ was lovely, keeping her alive to get as much as possible. Queen's already shaped up her path, but we've lost all of the healers, but she's right there to take on the multi.
Does he freeze? He doesn't. Oh, I thought he would have froze the Expos, because now they have to path towards the multi-target Inferno in the center. That is so huge in that one battle builder. How does he feel watching the builder just slowly repairing it? What a nightmare at this point, and the balloons now spun in the tornado trap. Not going to happen.
Yeah, that those are tough calls. You know, like, it's the heat of the moment, and you have to figure what the player's focus is on, getting that Lalo down, and maybe if they didn't get the call in time, because remember, their spotters might be, they're just about a couple seconds behind as they're looking, maybe not seeing that quite quick enough with the call, and that multi really doing some damage. It would have been nice to see the value if that Queen had stayed alive, picked it off, giving the loons just a little bit more opportunity. But did you notice those traps a little bit further out of the damage zone?
Yeah, it's always gutting for an attacker when everything's going right and it seems like it's just one thing. Because if the Queen had have stayed alive, like you said, when she's in the center there, the balloons are then tanking all of the defenses. She could have probably sniped a lot of the buildings down to the bottom and helped out massively. And I think he just wanted to keep on to the freeze and try his best to let the Queen get the multi and nothing else. But unfortunately, it was the wrong call.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to live with that at this point, which is gonna keep them down on the star count and on percentage. So we do have Demolisher coming in for Silent Sniper now, with an opportunity to really keep that pressure applied to Rest. We've got the Blimp coming in. And it looks like we're trying to make it as far in as a multi-targeting compartment. So we'll see a Rage come down and keep them alive. Ooh, we got a lot of damage coming in. He's going in deep there.
Yeah, he's trying to get right into the base. Nicely done, actually, because, wait a second. Wait a second. Has he gone too far? He has. Multi doesn't go down. And again, you see the Battle Builder repairing it. Oh, it's so... I don't know, it's almost like a little bit of a troll with the Battle Builder, just, I got you. Healing back up that multi-target Inferno, not the start we wanted from Demo. And actually, he was a key attacker for Silent Snipers in the first planes, getting 3-star after 3-star. But so far in this attack, not the start he wanted.
And now he has to worry about these healers possibly getting targeted. So we have the Royal Champ sneaking her way in, trying to quickly pick this off. Lassie helping out, which is nice. This is one of the reasons I like Lassie. Lassie kind of takes cover for the Royal Champ, gives her a little bit more opportunity to work deeper into the base. But does this mean we can't pick off the scatter shot now?
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to use the Royal Champion there. And like you said, Scattershot would have been nice, but the Queen charge is still relatively under control. She still has her ability, but it's really just how impactful that will be without the Royal Champion, particularly with a P.E.K.K.A. Smash. You normally have the Royal Champion kind of side-swiping alongside that, and not having that added DPS and damage towards the back end of the base could be costly. But we see the P.E.K.K.A. Smash now moving in. Queen jumping towards the Town Hall. She has to get that down because there's no plan B at this point. Nothing else that could be sent to the Town Hall.
I think with that back-end scatter, we really ideally want to see the Queen hanging on to the ability, since we don't have that Royal Champ to come in, keep it moving along. But the Queen's on her own here, nothing making its way inside the base. Queen needs to work her way around that poison bomb. It looks like the Royal Champ might keep her out of range of it slightly, though she just gets on the cusp of it, so has to force this ability. This is a bit of a tough situation, but the P.E.K.K.A.s are still going strong.
It is a tough situation, and I do feel the freeze spell was very good to keep onto the ability that little bit longer, like you said, hopefully for the scatter shot. And he's doing phenomenally well here. There's only 20 seconds left, so he does send in the baby dragon. Queen's still alive. He's got a freeze he could use on the Expo and the scatter shot, as he does. But 10 seconds, is it enough, Lady B?
Oh, that's
95%. It's getting so close.
That storage up top, but the Wizards come to it. And even the scatter hanging on by a thread. Demolisher has got to be racking his head about that one, because he had to adapt for it. He had to improvise, and it got that close. That really speaks to his abilities to just think on the fly. And you got to know that he knows this strategy through and through to be able to do that.
To get that close with the changes, like you said, missing the multi, the RC coming in early, but it does mean that Silent Snipers allow a little bit of room here for Rest to catch up. They're still behind on percentage either way, but this is a hugely important attack for Rest now. That was a massive defense, and, you know, I said this in the last war, but Rest need a 3-star here. If they don't, they'll find themselves way too far behind, I feel.
They definitely will, and it's been a tough go, but we're seeing a little bit of opening here and there from Silent Snipers. Now, Joker bringing us through with some dragons, and he's got the Zapquake to come along with it, so looking to shape up the base nicely, but where are we going in for this Town Hall? Queen's working her way in, drops the invisibility spell that keeps her focus off the defending CC long enough to get that taken down.
Yeah, what a move. I mean, he didn't want to do that, let's be honest. Using an invisibility in that moment means he now doesn't have that later on, but it had to be done. Press the ability early to hopefully get the Town Hall. A little bit unfortunate, I would say, for Joker that he didn't, but now the Dragons have the funnel set. They don't have to worry about the poison blast of the Town Hall, and they can just swoop on in with no sweepers pointing in his direction either.
He's got a nicely shaped up path for these Dragons. One a little bit astray, who's going to going to take care of that Hound here. I don't know how much health it has, but that at least eliminates it as a problem for the back end. But look at this push to the outside edge. We're seeing the main pack of the Dragons split pretty heavily out of course. So the Royal Champ really needs to come through and bring this back around, rein it back in. Ooh.
Oh, the Dragons move into the multi. I thought for a moment he might send the RC in towards the multi since everything's split around it. But I guess the best play was to send it to the scatter shot because exactly the same thing would have happened had he not of. Now, he's still got a couple of Dragons here. Uses the freeze, catches it a little bit late. One of the Eagles did fire. And I'm not sure he can get this now. There's just too much on the back end. Not to mention that enemy Queen.
Yeah, far too much. And that multi, while the Dragons try and work their way through, are going to continuously get picked off here one by one. They got to get through that Eagle, though. It did take a little bit of damage, which was good, but we've got pretty much nothing left before they even get to trying to take on that multi. But look at those traps. That was really nicely placed there by Rico. I mean, that's a tough compartment to come in, especially when you've lost every bit of what you had.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried when I seen the Mass Dragons because, I'll be honest, in the current meta, we do tend to see something else alongside the Dragons, whether it be a drag bat or, I mean, it's rare that we see a 3-star with just the Dragons. I know that we do. I think we even seen one of them in the qualifiers for the World Championships, but it is a strategy that tends to do that, just thin out towards the back end of the base and rest still 1 star behind at this stage.
And this is a tough turnaround, but we are seeing lovely plans. And that's the one thing I want to point out. No matter where these teams stand, they earn their way here. They fought team after team rising up the rankings to really push through for a phenomenal showing of European players.
Yeah, and I just think that the competitiveness within the ESL Mobile Open is so high. The teams that are in this tournament have qualified via the ladder play, which went on for a number of weeks, and there were so many big teams that didn't make it. So it really just shows the caliber of the event, and we've already got teams qualified. But we've got Rakirez of Silent Snipers, and this is actually a big attack for Silent Snipers because if he does well here, potentially 3 stars, he could start to put it out of reach as we see the Blizzard moving in, and so far, so good.
A nice position of this Blizzard. We're really gutting out a huge chunk of this base and clearing out some good pathing. I mean, taking down the Eagle is huge. We don't have that as a risk to fire away, and we still have the heroes to bring in to actually start cleaning this up. Now, one of the things we are going to have to worry about is that Town Hall to get it taken down because we don't want to see the loons pathing through it, as we've talked about so often. But Jump will maybe easily push that Queen in if he sets the funnel up right here, and it's looking like that's exactly what he's doing. We've got the King down, Queen's on her way, wall break open, and then just needs to lead her in with the jump.
Yeah, and she should move towards that Town Hall pretty easily. He might even... Oh, he's actually going to send the Royal Champion. I was going to say maybe he sends an early Lalo here, actually, from the left-hand side in order to force the Queen in towards the middle. But the Royal Champion, I guess, does that, and he'll play it safe a little bit with the Lava Loon. Try and take down some of the multi-target Infernos before he gets there. And as long as he does that, honestly, there's not much left in the base, is there? We tend to see that with this style of attack.
Look at that Royal Champ go. Drops that invisibility spell. He wants to take that entire line of multi-targeting Infernos down. And I think that's why he didn't want to go in necessarily with the Lalo, because it would have been a tough go. So Queen's done exactly what he needs her to do, though it would be nice to see the scatter shot get taken down. But the Loons are in a nice line to work their way in. Once they get past, this Warden ability is going to help them safely get through at where the Queen is actually positioned as well.
Yeah, nice to see that tornado trap go off in the center as well. As an attacker, it's always good to see that out of the way. But we could have probably known it was going to be in the center of the base. I think that was predictable. Balloons now clumping around that back-end Wizard Tower. And even though the ones going through the scatter shot have taken a little bit of damage, there's really not that much left. Rakirez trying to close in on these final few defenses. And then it is all about the cleanup. But you see minions and lava pups around the base. This will be another 3-star for the Silent Snipers and a huge advantage now over GH Rest. Can they come back though, is the question. GH Rest with 2 attacks left. We're going to have to see, Lady B.
I don't know, the fire that that Silent Snipers are bringing today, I think it is going to be a tough go. But sometimes you just need one good solid defense. And with the current meta, we've seen that happen. We've seen 1-stars, particularly because these anti-2-star bases can really trip people up. And we are seeing a little bit more of them coming through.
Well, we have Chico of Rest, and it is a similar strategy using the Lava Loon, but the lightning spells to take out the scatter shot down the bottom of the base. That will be helpful, particularly for the Royal Champion moving through. And actually, the entire southern area of the base is going to be down within the first stage of the attack.
Yeah, he's making this look super easy. We even have the invisibility spell to maybe get a little bit more value if wanted for this Royal Champion, but between that combination, this is beautiful. I mean, it doesn't look, if you look at the percent overall, 20%, it seems like, okay, that's not like crazy. But when you bring in the King and the Queen to get even more, we've just cleared out a massive chunk. We're going for the Eagle. We've already taken down a scatter shot. So really the only two things that we have to worry about are the remaining scatter and the Town Hall. But I notice he's got the log launcher, so he's looking to go deep into the center of the space now.
Wants to get to that multi-target Inferno, and every time I see a central multi-target Inferno with the log launcher, I can't stop thinking of Vale using the lightning spells in combination with that to take it down. That was obviously in the World Championships last year, but it always just sticks in my mind, using that log launcher to slowly roll in towards the multi, gets huge amounts of damage en route, and then finish it off. But the heroes are actually moving around the base a little bit here, still got a lot of firepower though with the ice golems. He's just waiting patiently. And again from Rest, Lady B, look at those sneaky goblins sneaking into the Town Hall. It is like clockwork for them.
You notice how like on point those invisibility spell placements are. Oh my goodness, but he doesn't get it taken down by a fraction. That one builder helping to keep it from going down. So he's going to path his Lalo through this now, which means he doesn't even have the Warden with him. Yeah. Had to bring that in. Oh, this is recovery time. He gets a 2-star, but they needed more than this to try and make a playback.
I would have loved to have seen this attack pan out as he planned, because look at it. The base is nearly gone, and that is with having to send his entire army towards the Town Hall. He gave everything to the hero dive. It was high risk, high reward. He put everything into that, but missing the Town Hall via the sneaky goblin only just as well. It must have been a fraction. Has cost the entire attack and potentially the entire war for GH Rest.
I got to give it to Rest, because they're coming in with plans and strategies that we're not necessarily seeing. It's not very common. We do see the Sneaky Goblin Town Hall takedown, but very, very rare. I think one of the few teams that I've seen do it, or one of the players actually, was Sahara. So I love that they're doing this more consistently.
I'm still interested that they're using the invisibility spell for it, because when we have seen this technique, we've tended to see the haste spell to just get the sneaky goblins to the Town Hall quicker because they're already invisible. So I'm quite intrigued that they're using the invisibility spell in order to do that. But now we've got Rico of Silent Snipers, and this one is to put the nail in the coffin. If he 3-stars, it is out of reach. Well, actually, even if he 2-stars, it's out of reach for Rest. So quite a comfortable position to be in for the Silent Snipers.
It is indeed a good spot. So he's got to go the safe approach, going for the Town Hall, which I think is smart. Occasionally we see players who will leave the Town Hall for the very last thing on an attack that they really just need to go in safely. But it wouldn't make too much of a difference. A 1-star at this point does keep them pretty secure, because look at the overall percentage. They're doing exceedingly well. But we do have the Queen to work her way through, just taking on the Clan Castle troops before she makes her way into that Town Hall compartment. And we're even shaping up the pathing, ensuring that she goes exactly where he wants to see her go.
Yeah, beelining towards that Town Hall, which is beautiful, securing the 1st star, and the percentage for the 2nd is almost there as well, Lady B. It always, I don't know, it feels a little bit more safe for me once you have your army in, that even if you got to disconnect or something, your troops would still get the percentage. And you can see it climbing up, 48. Come on, go straight to 50. I was going to count it up, but it didn't. Straight to 50. Silent Snipers have the win here. But can they get even further? And another 3-star.
Oh, I was going to say, I love this approach seeing the space, but the king did not come out quickly enough. So we see a little bit of stray from the miners and the hogs. Though if you come back into the center of the base, but the main pack working along with the king, and they're going to focus their push straight to that scatter shot. Queen's still alive with her ability, as is the Royal Champ, who's making her push into the final compartment to get it done. But this is smart. As that Archer Tower was distracted, he drops in a couple of loons to help pick that off, clean it up quickly. Though, I don't think time's going to be too much of a factor for him.
No, I don't think so. He's still got 1 minute left. Queen's ability in the bag. And Silent Snipers, are they showing that they are favorites for this? They have got a perfect war initially, a comfortable victory here over GH Rest. And remember, they beat the number 1 team in the ladder, Burger Rangers, all 3 times that they played them in the ladder. So they are showcasing just how good they are, but they've got some big opponents coming up. They will move forward, but GH Rest will play Penta later on, so they really want to get a good attack here, a 3-star to build their confidence back up and try and just give them anything moving into that matchup with Penta.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're going to get to see more Rest later, because I am loving their attack styles. And let's see, maybe they listen to you about the haste. Maybe we'll get to see more of the Sneaky Goblins and a slight adjustment, but it is a really nice way to go about their planning. And I think Penta could give them a huge run for their money, though.
Agreed. I always have huge respect for anyone that particularly showcases something off meta. And actually, in the previous matchup, the final matchup of the ladder, GH Rest played Penta and beat them. So that is going to be interesting to see that matchup later today, because it is elimination time once we get there. But we're getting ahead of ourselves, Lady B. We're getting too excited here. Let's focus on the here and now. Kingpen with the final attack, and it is the hybrid.
Oh, so again, we talked about how hybrid is a very difficult strategy right now, even for some of the best hybrid attackers out there, because you have to rethink your planning, how you're working along. The Queen typically now taking on the Town Hall, but you have to worry about her going through that poison bomb. So you need to look for bases typically that have maybe the Clan Castle troop that can pull its way out, as we saw previously, and distract the Queen as she takes on the Town Hall and the poison bomb sets off, so she can stay out of that range long enough. We've got that Cocoloon that comes in protecting the healers, but also starts the lure. We just need to see a little bit more coming out, because we don't want her to step too far forward into that radius.
Yeah, and I worry a little bit about that Tesla farm, because that is going to slow the Queen down. Obviously, the damage is one thing, but it's going to slow her down. And hopefully she goes for the Town Hall here, but I think she's going to stick to the outside and take out the entire Tesla farm before she even steps in, and that could be huge. But another balloon perfectly takes down the Black Bomb. So very nicely planned so far, but yes, Queen steps to the Town Hall, and it means that, well, time has still ticked down quite a lot for a hybrid, let's be honest, but it's definitely a better chance now for Kingpen.
That Tesla farm actually keeping her out of the range of the poison bomb, and then we get to see the Hound that's going to keep her away from it, as well as we get the hybrid setting in place with the King on the outskirts along with the Siege Barracks. We've got that nice funnel value. King doing a phenomenal job tanking, forcing that ability through. Ideally, what we want to see is him rounding that 12 o'clock corner and getting as much as possible, but the Wizards reaching over the wall to what the King and P.E.K.K.A couldn't get to, though. P.E.K.K.A's a little bit hung up here.
Yeah, had to use that Warden ability because the Hog Riders took major damage down the bottom. And as they moved through, with not many spells left, the Eagle, 2 multis, the Scatter Shot on the end. Look at that western area, Lady B. That looks so dangerous for Hog Riders and Miners. I think he's got to hold on to the hero abilities here if he has any opportunity of getting this.
Time is a bit tough. 37 seconds left to go, having to round the corner, but the Royal Champion has survived this with ability intact. And the Miner is going to continue to take the lead as the Queen forces her ability to quickly get past this wall. He wants her up in that range of the Scatter Shot. We've got a wall break coming in, opening up, but she can't make her way fully in here to get it taken out. But it's distracted, so the Hogs, the Royal Champ, come through. 13 seconds left, though, Judo. It's going to be close, but
95, 10 seconds. I think he's got it.
Ooh.
To switch that around, the way that that he did was beautiful and shows the talent on the buzzer as well. Shows the talent of GH Rest. And I agree with you. I cannot wait to see them in